Before we had porch lights, street lights, or little glowing screens in our hands, summer nights had lanterns of their own. They rose from the grass after sunset, blinking, vanishing, then answering one another from across the darkness. Some families called them fireflies, some called them lightning bugs, others knew glowing beetles as glowworms. And wherever those mysterious little lights appeared, people did what people have always done when nature gives us something beautiful we don't quite understand. We told stories about them. So, my creepy cuties, let's open another page from the old book of Granny Magic. If you grew up where lightning bugs live, you probably remember the moment summer evenings changed. The sun slipped behind the trees, the air stayed warm, cicadas hummed. Frogs started calling from somewhere you couldn't quite see. Somebody sat down on the porch, and then a tiny light appeared over the grass. Blink, then another, and another. Before long, it looked as though somebody had shaken the stars loose and scattered them through the yard. Children chased them barefoot through the grass. We cupped our hands around them carefully and peeked between our fingers. And for one little moment, we were holding light. But here's something many of us never learned as children. A firefly isn't actually a fly. It's a beetle belonging to the family Lampyridae. There are more than 2,000 species around the world, and they don't all behave alike. Some adults flash, some glow. Some are active during daylight and don't perform the familiar nighttime light show at all. And the ones that do light up are performing one of nature's most extraordinary tricks: bioluminescence. Inside specialized organs in their abdomen, a chemical reaction produces light while releasing remarkably little heat. But that light isn't simply decoration. It's a language. In many flashing species, males fly through the darkness displaying a particular pattern. Females watch from the vegetation or ground. And if the right male sends the right signal, she answers. Different species can have distinctive flash patterns that help them recognize one another. So when Grandma's backyard looked like a fairy kingdom, a good portion of those little lights were actually beetles flirting. Apparently romantic complications existed long before dating apps. But their light can serve another purpose: protection. Many fireflies contain defensive chemicals that make them unpleasant to predators, and their glow can act like a warning. Yes, you can see me. No, you probably shouldn't eat me. And, my creepy cuties, this is where our sweet little summer story develops teeth. There are predatory females in the genus Fatale that can imitate the courtship responses of females belonging to other firefly species. A male sees the signal, he approaches, he thinks he has found a mate. Instead, she eats him, and somehow it gets stranger. Some of these females gain defensive chemicals from the fireflies they consume, helping protect themselves from predators. So she doesn't simply steal another firefly's boyfriend. She steals his chemical defenses too. I suppose there's a little granny wisdom buried in there somewhere. Not every pretty light calling you over has good intentions. But the firefly's magic begins long before those summer romances. Fireflies undergo complete metamorphosis: egg, larva, pupa, adult. And some eggs and larvae glow too. Think about that. A firefly can carry its little lantern before it ever has wings. For many species, the glowing adult we notice is only a brief chapter of its life. The larval stage can last much longer, hidden in moist soil, beneath leaves, around rotting wood, or near wetlands and stream edges. And those larvae are predators. Many hunt snails, slugs, worms, and other small creatures. So while we remember the beautiful little lantern floating over Grandma's lawn, most of its life may have happened quietly beneath our feet. We notice the light. We rarely notice everything it took to get there. And then there are fireflies that do something almost unbelievable. They synchronize. In the Great Smoky Mountains, synchronous fireflies can coordinate their courtship displays so that portions of the forest appear to flash together. Light, darkness, light again. Imagine seeing that generations ago. No electricity, no flashlights, Nothing but a dark Appalachian forest, and suddenly the woods begin blinking. If somebody's grandmother had told me the mountain itself was breathing light, I might have believed her. And the southern Appalachians hold another little creature whose name sounds as though it came straight from one of our stories, the blue ghost firefly. Instead of the familiar sharp blinking, males can appear as a pale, ghostly blue-green glow drifting through the dark forest. Picture yourself walking those mountains 200 years ago. No flashlight, no porch light nearby, only trees, darkness. And then something begins glowing silently between the trunks. Tell me somebody didn't go home with a ghost story. And that brings us to something important. Fireflies weren't the only mysterious lights our ancestors encountered. There were glowworms. There was foxfire glowing from certain fungi. There were marsh lights and stories of will-o'-the-wisps. And there were countless legends about mysterious lights belonging to spirits, fairies, ancestors, omens, and things people couldn't explain. But those traditions shouldn't all be thrown into one basket and called firefly folklore. A will-o'-the-wisp is not simply a lightning bug. Foxfire is something entirely different. And not every mysterious light was somebody's grandmother coming back to visit. Folklore becomes less interesting when everybody's traditions get mixed together. Different places remembered different things. And some of the most beautiful firefly traditions in the world developed far beyond Grandma's porch. In Japan, fireflies became symbols of summer, love, longing, mortality, and fleeting beauty. In China, one famous story remembered a poor scholar who supposedly gathered fireflies so he could continue studying when his family couldn't afford lamp oil. And across Europe, glowing beetles appeared beneath hedges and in dark fields long before people understood why they shone. Each place looked at that little light and found a different story inside it. But those stories deserve their own page. Because tomorrow, my creepy cuties, we're going to follow the firefly around the world, into old Japanese poetry, an ancient Chinese legend, European glowworms, Appalachian summer nights, childhood mason jars, and perhaps discover why something that shines for such a short time can stay in our memories for the rest of our lives. So for tonight, leave the porch light off for a little while. Watch the grass, listen to the darkness, and if you see a tiny lantern blink somewhere across the yard, remember, there may be another one answering. Part 2 of Granny Magic, Fireflies, coming tomorrow.